consider that every single problem that you're having in your business, in your relationships, is because you're trying to win the war of approval.
Hey Locker Nation, I'm Dr. Josh Hant, and you're listening to Lifestyle Locker Radio, Episode 5 with Dr. Nima Rhamany. Prepare to have fun, learn, and be inspired so you can unleash your human potential. Hi, I'm Dr. Josh Hant, and welcome to the Lifestyle Locker Radio, where we dive into what makes an awesome lifestyle. From relationships to money mindset, nutrition to fitness, emotional health to peak performance, we bring you on an amazing journey to unleashing your human potential. So hello everyone, I'm Dr. Josh Hant, and you're listening to Lifestyle Locker Radio. It's here where we want our listeners to figure out how to unleash their human potential. Today we're grateful to have Dr. Nima Rhamany joining us on our mission to help listeners create a lifestyle worth living. We know lifestyle consists of many things, and the knowledge that Dr. Nima will drop today will help shape the lives of people for years to come and hopefully have a huge impact on yours. So here's a little bit about Dr. Nima. He's a DC, a CCWP, is both a chiropractor and an educator specializing in helping individuals and professionals get to the root cause of their physical and emotional challenges. After building a successful chiropractic practice in Maple Ridge, British Columbia, really cool place actually, Dr. Nima sold his clinic in June 2016 to pursue his passion of teaching and coaching professionals who are stressed, depressed, and anxious to transform and have their best year ever in both private settings and in corporate settings. Dr. Nima has integrated all the mind-body tools in his quest for healing stress-related disorders into one very simple to follow method called the Overview Method, which is the adjustment above Atlas, which he's actually going to talk about later, that he teaches one-on-one and in groups all over the world in his engaging and edutaining lectures filled with inspired authenticity and edutainment. So welcome, Dr. Nima. I am very excited to have you here, and I was very grateful to actually be able to hang out with you a few weeks ago up in your native land up there in BC. It was beautiful. So give me a little more on you here.
Well, I want to talk about how beautiful British Columbia is. Isn't it gorgeous?
Oh, absolutely love it.
I know. I've traveled. I've been blessed to be able to travel all over the world, and I have to tell you that there are very few places that I've been to that are as beautiful as British Columbia. And I just recently sold my chiropractic practice to be able to pursue my passion, which is to educate, to teach, both in one-on-one and in groups and live trainings all over the world, teaching people how to transform their past stories of victimhood into becoming, body and mind powerfully aligned and on purpose, serving a greater calling than just their current reality. And so, mindset tools, you and I have been trained as chiropractors, so we really know how important it is to be aligned structurally, the nervous system, brain-body connection. But I struggled as a teenager with anxiety and depression, and I always really got a kick out of learning tools in transforming it rather than being diagnosed, labeled, and medicated. I wanted to get to the bottom of it. And so I found that it's a lot more fulfilling for me to be a teacher than it is to be in an office in rural British Columbia, Canada. So I'm all over the world now and coaching people in, getting out of their own way and clearing past traumas, specifically pain points emotionally from the past, which is driving fears in the future, clearing both and getting people to live powerfully aligned and on purpose.
That's great. That's quite amazing. So I'm looking at your bio here, and you got a pretty neat bio. So we know what the DC stands for. I know we're speaking to the general public here, but that's the Doctor of Chiropractic. Explain how that has kind of helped transform you a little bit, and explain what the CCWP is and how you're able to maybe use some of the tools from that degree to where you are today.
Well, when I was 13 years old, I had my first chiropractic adjustment, and I knew when I got off the table that I wanted to be a chiropractor. And so I didn't have the experience that you did, Dr. Josh, that, you were adjusted since birth, right?
Yeah.
So So I didn't have that experience. I had my first chiropractic adjustment at 13, and I knew at that moment I wanted to be a DC. So fast forward, and I'm in my first year chiropractic school at CMCC in Toronto in 1997, and I saw John DeMartini speak. And he showed me a greater possibility for my life. And he awoke or inspired something within me that got me to see a bigger possibility, that I wanted to travel the world and to teach. And 2-3 years into my practice, I knew that just talking only about the spine and nervous system wasn't sufficient to get the entire person healthy and to become an educator. It was important to teach about lifestyle, as you know, lifestyle.
Yeah, exactly.
So the CCWP is the furthering of my training under the International Chiropractors Association and Dr. James Chestnut. I took his program, the Certified Chiropractic Wellness Practitioner. So I learned about diet, I learned about exercise, I learned about mindset and how important they are. It's basically the science of wellness and how to take a person who is sick, stressed, and stuck and how to transform their lifestyle habits and how to educate them into it so that they can then be their own guru, their own healer, their own, the awaken the healer within. And so I just took it one step further with mindset now. And so the DC, the Certified Chiropractic Wellness Practitioner, and now I'm a mental optimization coach and an educator and speaker. And one day I'm going to come out with a book, and maybe a podcast too. So definitely have you as a guest. But
Yeah.
all of the education and the letters kind of mean.
Yeah, great. So I also brought up is that, I've met you, I believe it was maybe a year or two ago in Italy at a chiropractic conference out there. Briefly, I watched you from the stage, and then we hung out at night. We were with that large group of people that went out and toured around Rome. But I'm looking at your website, and what I'm seeing, really cool stuff. The power of your language, how to tell you're being a victim, and then the different categories. Communication, which you spoke about, depression, personal growth, self-esteem. So when you're working with a group or an individual, can you kind of share with me, as if maybe I was that group or that client, like what does the process look like? What does it look like, from Dr. Nima taking, me, Josh, from point A down my road to the better land down there where we're supposed to be going?
Well, the first thing that I would invite you to do is, I would ask Josh what's not working.
Okay.
And chances are it's because of a past story of victimhood. Whether it's a victimhood towards self, or it's a self-esteem issue, whether you're holding on to guilt, resentment, or a resentment towards somebody else. And so the whole foundation of the overview method and the process that I take people through is this whole concept of the highest form of forgiveness is the authentic recognition that everything served you and there is nothing to forgive.
Okay.
So the highest form of forgiveness is the authentic recognition that everything served you and there is nothing to forgive. Because how many of us are stuck in our lives, are feeling anxious, are feeling depressed, aren't happy with how much money we're making, aren't happy with the relationship that we're having. We're either in a breakup situation, we're feeling low self-esteem, we're feeling a fear of stepping up into something greater, and it's causing this transitional anxiety. It's causing this feeling of inadequacy. It usually comes from a past unresolved story.
Okay.
A story that has us implanted with the belief that we're not good enough, we're not worthy of love, we are a bad person, and we're broken, or some sort of a story there that's been implanted that acts as a filter. And what we do is we go around the world gathering evidence to support that belief. And as you know, through the observer effect in quantum mechanics, quantum physics, and the double slit experiment is whatever we look at and we're looking for, we will find. You know what I mean?
I've heard that before.
Evidence that Josh is an asshole. I hang out with him and you could make one move and I'll go, ah, there it is. You see? There's evidence Josh is an asshole. But if I'm looking for evidence that Josh is an incredible human being, If I pay attention and I look and I'm there and I have that filter on, I will definitely see that. It's the same thing with our lives.
Yes.
Because those events that have happened in our past, we then hold on to these lies, these delusions that we're not good enough, we're not worthy of love, we're inadequate. We have these buttons, these little triggers of rejection, abandonment, inadequacy, guilt, all of these things, and we carry them around. And what I've observed is unresolved issues like that will lead to depression, anxiety, and most chronic illness. Most chronic illness is a disconnection from unconditional love. So what I do is, aside from the lifestyle, importance of lifestyle, which 100% of people know what they should be eating and that they should be moving their bodies in more inspiring ways. But how many of us know the tools in taking those events from our past and transforming the story so that there is no forgiveness? It's this concept, oh, just forgive from the past. That's bullshit. Forgiveness doesn't work. It doesn't actually work. And I know this is quite disruptive of me to say, especially in the whole positive psychology movement, but the concept of forgiveness is not complete, because we claim to forgive, but we're still holding on to resentment, and that's messing up our entire lives. So I created a process in my coaching and online and in live trainings to teach people how to take that I forgive you to I actually wouldn't change a thing. I'm grateful for exactly what happened, because without it, I wouldn't be where I am, and I'm the badass that I am today. And from that, we level up, we become stronger, we can restore integrity, and we reclaim our power back. If I say, Josh, I forgive you, what that we think that that's a powerful statement. However, by me telling you there's nothing to forgive, I'm grateful for it. I've actually taken the power back. If I'm a victim to what you've done to me, and I label you as my abuser, I've given you my power. I've given you the power the power of my emotions, the power of my resentment, the power of my headspace. And so finding gratitude, which is not an easy thing, I'm not suggesting it's easy, is the key to unlocking healing and human potential, performance, and power, and freedom, and full self-expression. So that's what I love guiding people into who are actually ready for it.
Wow, that's sounds like you've got a pretty serious process locked and loaded here. I mean, you definitely have taken the time and energy to get where you are today, huh?
Yeah, it's been a road. I mean, I remember it was about 3 years ago, almost to the week, where I made a declaration that I was living. I had you know a very lucrative chiropractic practice. I had like 11 associates. I was making really good money, and I was working 2.5 days a week, and so the finances were amazing. And so I just remember going, is that it? I know that I can make a deeper impact. And I really am tired of seeing patients who are coming in as victims. They're like sick, they're stuck, they're stressed, and they're blaming their mother-in-law, they're blaming their father, they're blaming their sister, they're blaming whoever, or they're hard on themselves, or they're beating themselves up. And I'm like, I want to reach these people. I can't do it just with my hands. And so I had these workshops that I was doing, and I made a declaration. I said, I'm jumping. And so within a year, I had within a year of that, about 7 months of that moment, I took off on a world tour and spoke to different chiropractic, uh, audiences. And I would do this fun little stuff. I would rap when I was on stage, and so people got a kick out of that. So they would keep inviting me from one location to another, and my audience would keep growing. And basically now it's been 3 years of up and down. And when I jumped, the parachute didn't open right away.
Yeah.
So not only am I, I teach people about stress and anxiety and depression and identity crisis, and people who are really stuck, especially executives who really know they want to make a bigger impact, but they feel like their own beliefs of unworthiness are in the way. I always tell people I'm not only the president, I'm also a client. So I had to go through my own dark night of the soul. I had to go through my own anxieties. I had to go through my own insecurities and imposter syndrome of who am I to be making such a difference. I had to go through the haters. And so I'm a testament to the work that I teach, because I actually have to put myself through it. And so it's a great accountability to be able to say, I know what it's like to be suicidal. I know what it's like to want to end things. I know what it's like to feel like a failure. But I also know the value of having strategic feedback, of having a coach, a mentor to push you and clear the story, change the trigger, change the story, and help guide you to the highest version of yourself. And that there's nothing more fulfilling for me than getting people aligned, both structurally and emotionally. So that's what I do.
That's really cool. So, and then when I read in your bio, the adjustment above Atlas. So for those listening, there are people that are not chiropractors. It's probably the majority of the people not listening are not chiropractors. So the Atlas is that top bone in the neck, right? So when you mean above Atlas, it could be a short version. Just what does that really mean in a short sense, so people go, oh yeah, I get that. I can vibe with that.
It all started with myself. I was in practice for 2 years. I now was like, oh my God, I'll be happy when I graduate. I got into graduation, and now it's like, okay, crap, I got a student debt to pay. Crap, I'll be happy when I'm starting to make ends meet. Within a couple of years, my practice was rolling, and I still wasn't freaking happy. So I just started really delving into personal development and learning John DeMartini's work, and these are all my mentors. I just went into the work of all of these mind-body healers. I wanted to get to the root cause of my anxiety, my depression, and why wasn't I just happy? Why wasn't it enough? This whole disease and disorder of it's never enough, which most doctors, chiropractors live under, what I found is a very common thing here. And what I discovered was that, we adjust patients, their spine and their nervous system, removing interference so that the brain and body can function. But what about the adjustment above the spine, above that first vertebrae in your neck called the atlas, which was an adjustment of my perceptions, adjustment of my thoughts, adjustment of my expectations, adjustment of my values. And that's not taught to us in school. That's never taught to me in high school. It's never taught to me how to deal with divorce. It's never taught to me what do I do to deal with my anger. It's never taught to me what to do about disappointment and feeling like I'm not worthy and not good enough. Or what do I do when I'm constantly finding myself comparing myself to my twin, to other chiropractors, my twin brother, who's a very successful dentist, to myself and my past. I'm not living up to my expectations. And all of these disappointments and depression, why haven't I learned the tools and how to transcend and to get my power and my freedom and self-expression back? Why haven't I learned that? And I discovered I had to learn how to adjust myself above Atlas and, the perception adjustment. And so now the overview method simply is the adjustment above Atlas, which is a series of questions which challenge your assumptions and beliefs about life, and it's an inquiry. It's a self-inquiry into the lies that you're telling, the validity of the lies and the beliefs that you have about your life, transforming them so that you can clear the interference between where you are, close that gap between where you are and where you'd love to be. And it's been working amazing. I mean, now here I am in this mastermind group of other business professionals. I'm the only chiropractor in the room, and I'm adjusting everybody, structurally. And so I'm learning how to scale what I do. And I love learning. And part of that is the adjustment above Atlas is any type of learning that brings your perceptions back into balance so that the brain body is connected. Not only that, but also I'm living in alignment with my values. That's the adjustment above Atlas.
That's great. I have a feeling that the people listening are going to have to listen to this over and over again, and they're going to be having a pen and paper in front of them and just start taking notes. This is real good stuff. So where I want to dive next with you is what I ask all everybody we're interviewing is I need 3 golden nuggets. And the last interview I did with another doc, he said, I don't drop golden nuggets, I drop gold bars, right? So
it's right? Like cowbell. It's like that cowbell at Saturday Night Live.
Yeah, need more cowbell. Yeah.
Whatever. I just can't believe that's the Bruce Dickinson. Guys, I put my pants on one leg at a time. Only one leg on. I make gold records.
Oh, great. So here we go. So
good.
Give us 3 golden nuggets, and after that, I'm going to let this marinate in your brain for a second. Then I want to kind of follow up and finish with a take-home action step, whether it's a handwritten, a verbal, whatever it may be, whatever an action step that you might give everyone. I want the listeners to be able to do something after this to improve their life and their lifestyle.
Okay, that's easy. That's a no-brainer. 3 golden nuggets. Wow, you're putting me on the spot. Okay, I did an interview last night, and this was a big one. Consider that every single problem that you're having in your business, in your relationships, is because you're trying to win the war of approval.
Okay.
Find out where you're trying to win the war of approval, which is, I'd like to say this, but I'm not, I'm afraid that they won't like me or they won't approve of me. Okay, every fear, every challenge that you're going through is likely because you're trying to win the war of approval. Outside voices to try to complete and approve what you feel that you're missing inside. Okay? When in fact the real challenge, it's just a reflection of the fact that you can't handle your own inner critic. Okay? So the war of approval is attempted to be won on the outside when the real battle is the battle against your inner critic. I mean, that in itself is the biggest gold nugget of my life whenever I saw that, whether I was wanting to, appease my father, whether I was trying to get approval from my parents or whatever. The second gold nugget that I can give you is that most of us are completely unaware of what our values are. And we try to live according to a set of priorities that actually aren't ours. How do we know? Well, when you constantly are using the word, I should be doing this, I should be, chances are I'm supposed to be doing this, chances are you're injecting other people's values rather than honoring your own. And when you set goals that are not congruent with your own values, and you haven't set goals, and you haven't put together action steps in your day, on your week's agenda that are consistent with your values, you will have hesitation, you'll have procrastination, you'll have low self-esteem, you'll have anxiety, and you'll have depression. These aren't disorders. They are just signs and symptoms that you're not aligned with your values. Or you're trying to win the war of approval. Good luck with that.
These are good.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just looking at what's been useful and valuable for me. And the third gold nugget that I can say is, really, once you've identified your values, is to schedule into your day, your week, your month, regularly, things, activities, places, activities really, that are consistent with those values, with your values. I've helped transform so many people's health simply because they told me that they love horseback riding. They haven't put horseback riding into their schedule in months. I'm like, okay, so you're going to do that every Friday afternoon. You're going to schedule that in. And that in itself was transformative. Giving yourself permission to live and do activities according to your values, bring you energy, connect you with your power. And when you're living according to your values, something is tapped into you that's not of this world, and it fills what's empty, so you don't look outside for approval. See, it all kind of flows together.
So that's the gold bar right there. This whole thing is the bar, right?
The whole thing is 3 amazing nuggets that come together to form this bar. And once that's dropped, we make gold records.
Yeah.
So really putting in activities that are consistent for know your values, put activities that are consistent with your values. And the third one, which we went backwards, is just know that you're only going to get approval from those people who agree with your values, who are living according to your values. The war of approval is not won by trying to get everyone to see things your way, is by understanding and acknowledging that other people with different set of values cannot and will not be supportive of what is not most meaningful to them and priority for them. So fuck them, do what you love to do, put that into your schedule, and and really live according to those values. And that final takeaway that we have is that's been the greatest transformative activity, and you're going to laugh because it's so basic and it's so fundamental, is not rocket science, is count my blessings in the morning of what I'm grateful for, not only counting them, but actually feeling them. Getting the feeling in my neurology, the feeling of the gratitude. It's not just, I'm grateful for my lovely home. I'm grateful for the beautiful view. I'm grateful that I live in beautiful Vancouver, British Columbia. I'm grateful for my girlfriend. I'm grateful for my dog. All of these things that are easy to just write down. But to actually get that into your neurology, get it into your nervous system, spend 3 to 5 minutes just flooding your body with the neurochemistry of gratitude, actually will filter your life, your eyes, to start noticing, by the observer effect that we talked about, the things in your life that are worthy of gratitude. Because so many people who have everything are focusing on what's not working for them, and it's easy for us to do, easy for me to do too, because when you're running a business, when you're an entrepreneur, you're basically you're a firefighter. You're constantly putting out fire. And if I don't take the time twice a day to really focus on the amazing freaking blessings that are going on, I'm focusing on those fires and the story that I make out of that, and I make that mean that I'm a failure. I'm not worthy of love. I'm not successful. I can't really help people. And my mindset starts to downslide. And then when my mindset downslides, what is it that I'm noticing all around me? It becomes just this vicious cycle. And so it starts with the gratitude in the morning and the feeling of it, and the same thing in the evening. And I'm telling you, do that for 1 week. Message me privately and tell me what a transformative effect that is. And then you're going to be like, I already know this, Dr. Nima. I know you know it, but you're not doing it, chances are.
Yeah, it's kind of like, the person, or even like me, it's like you stub your toe in the morning on the corner of the bed, and a lot of people will take that with them through the whole day, and it's like every other thing, right?
There it is again. There's more evidence that today sucks.
You see it.
I got another speeding ticket. More evidence that the day sucks. And so it's all the adjustment above Atlas, and you can adjust yourself above, unlike a normal, a traditional chiropractic adjustment where you need to go to a good chiropractor. You can adjust yourself above Atlas just with your thoughts, the content of your mind, and your perceptions.
And your actions, right? Like that horseback riding, right? Like we were just saying.
Assigning actions each and every day consistent with your highest values. Like right now, you are doing something, Josh. You're in, we're on a Friday afternoon at the recording of this. You are doing what you love. I can tell you're an energy flow, the look on your face, your body language. I can see you through the Skype. You're actually in a flow-like state because you're doing what you love. That will bring abundance to you simply because you put that into your schedule. I am in a business mastermind learning as much as I can, because learning is one of my highest values, and so is traveling. So I'm in a highest version of myself state right now. But I've scheduled that. I've invested into that. And because, we pretend like we're going to live forever. We're not. We're all going to die someday, very soon. It comes a lot faster, doesn't it? A lot faster than we think. And so it's imperative that you get into action and doing the things that you love, and stop pretending you're going to be here forever.
Yeah, that's great. Dr. Nima, I got to tell you, I love you being your true, authentic self. This has been really good. I feel like, I'm getting a lot out of this right here. I'm taking notes. I don't know if you could see that, paper notes as we go, even though I can listen to this recording again and again. But I'm loving every second of it. So I think we'll finish on that note. Was this is a real high note here. From the bottom of my heart, from Lifestyle Locker, we're going to really thank you for doing such an amazing, awesome job. I have a feeling that people are going to love this. Like I said, they're going to listen to it over and over and over again. So what I want to do, let everybody know, is that we are going to put in the show notes and the website. You're going to see Dr. Nima's pretty face, his pretty picture, his bio, all his contacts and connections, so everything he lets me give will be available for you. Maybe not his cell number, but
Well,
not yet.
I have a private Facebook group. It's called The Art of Powerful Alignment. Please feel free to join. That's where I engage. I do daily trainings. I do postings. It's called The Art of Powerful Alignment. Anytime you have a question, I'm constantly checking in and serving the people in that community. It's people, it's badasses, entrepreneurs, executives who are looking to expand from where they currently are, and sometimes understand that they go through the stress and anxiety and depression of expansion and want to learn tools in becoming powerfully aligned. So join the Art of Powerful Alignment if you're interested.
And that's going to be also, that will be in the show notes and the website, because we're going to make sure they have no excuses so they can connect with you and improve their lifestyle. So until next time, remember, it's your life. Now you have the resources to unleash your human potential. And thank you again, Dr. Nima Rhamany. Hey Locker Nation, you just finished listening to Dr. Nima Rhamany drop some gold bars on how you can unleash your human potential inside the Lifestyle Locker. Make sure you connect with him on his Facebook group called The Art of Powerful Alignment. And you can always connect with us on Facebook.com/Lifestyle Locker. And you can connect with me directly, which I want you to do, on Instagram at Dr. Josh Hand. Talk to you soon. See you next time on Locker Days.